This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Let's all sing. Hey, everybody. It's Alex, and it's the Ramble, where nothing works. And welcome to our Thursday night show, the first show of the week. And tomorrow night will be the last show of the week. That's the way it goes, okay? Oh, man, I'm sorry I had trouble getting on tonight. A little slow getting on, but we got on time. I mean, most of you people out there are enjoying yourself, and good, you know? We made it to the air. Let me just make sure everything is on here correctly, because nothing usually works right, okay? And there we go. And let me see, am I here? Oh, well, is it oh yeah, okay, there we are. All right, I wish you could see it, then you could see what's happening. Well, here we are. We got a show tonight, didn't have a show last night. Let's bring Phil into the proposition here and see what wonderful background he has on himself. Oh, there's Telegraph Hill, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's right behind Ghirardelli Square, so that must be Telegraph.
That kind of gets close to being it's North Beach.
Yeah.
Okay. It's where I was born.
Yeah,
on
that's right.
At the top of
just Filbert, I think.
Well,
right?
one block down Filbert Street, which is a street that is this angled. Okay, so yeah. I always look to this day like I'm walking into the wind. You know,
it's good exercise.
Yeah.
I'm paying a lot of money every month to have somebody train me. You know,
really, that's great exercise.
Yeah.
Well, I had trouble getting on tonight.
Yeah, I figured that
because when I finally I was doing a few things here, and then when I went to almost start the show, the camera wouldn't start up on Zoom. Yeah. And that meant so then I had to reboot the whole machine. And I rebooted it, and I got it on about a minute after I usually go on, but it's not exactly the start of the show, so it doesn't matter. All right?
Yeah. Well, you've been having some stuff going on.
Well, no, but I mean, let's get to that in a minute.
Yeah, in a minute.
So
okay.
I've been having technical problems, right?
Yeah.
But we will not have them, hopefully, at the end of this weekend.
Why, you're quitting?
Yes. No. I'll show you why I'm not quitting. Hold on.
You bought more stuff.
Be sure I gotta go get it. Okay.
Okay.
Here we are. This is the reason why. Hold on a second. I gotta put my earphones back on. Otherwise, I can't hear you, which is actually a blessing if I think about it.
You know, I gave up on earphones, and I'm just listening to you through the speakers.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of going to that because I can do it, you know. The reason I'm not going to have any real computer problems, I don't think any longer, is this.
Oh, you got one of those new Mac, it's not a mini, it's a studio.
It's called a Mac Studio. I don't know if you can see that.
I have heard just nothing but fantastic reviews about it.
And actually, I bought the cheaper of the two because they say it's actually better.
Other one, are you going to use it for the GabNet?
It's replacing the trash can.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The only thing is, it's got two ports, USB ports. And I've got to connect another USB thing in here and here because I've got a lot of USB stuff plugged in.
Don't we all?
But I think this will read them all better, you know. I mean, this is an up-to-the-minute stage thing.
Yeah. No, those are supposedly great. All the reviews I've read and the people that own them say that it's been fantastic, and a lot of people have replaced the trash can.
And this is a $2,700 version because I got it with 1 terabyte of memory, Okay,
SSD.
And the what do you call it? The memory for the running it and all the stuff like that. I can't remember what they call it. 64 megabytes. So
Yeah.
it is exactly
RAM, I think it is.
yeah, RAM. It's exactly the same as I have in this other machine, so that
Now-
I can move everything over onto this machine and it will fit. Okay.
So even though people say that that's a fabulous unit, why? Were you having problems with the trash can?
I think the trash can was actually it was, I think, maybe built, this one, in 2015. The trash can came out in 2013. They haven't changed
Right.
anything with it, and it does have its problems. It's a little slow and whatever. This thing, I have a mini Mac with the
Yeah.
M1 chip in it, and you'd think it was running as fast as the trash can. So I can't believe what I'm going to get here with the, what is it, M1 Max, or maybe it's M2 Max? I don't know, the M1 Max inside here.
It's the true test is when you're rendering your video.
Well,
Now, I don't render video.
Well, yes, I do occasionally, but the main test is going to be, can I do this show without having to do what I just did? Okay.
Probably not.
Probably. But anyway, this will be the new machine eventually that will be running this show. And
Yeah.
it cost me close to $3,000. Take care
Well,
of
you know,
this.
you could probably still get 1,500 or so for your trash can.
But I had a lot of cash sitting
Yeah.
around the house, and I decided that I wanted to get rid of a lot of it because I really find I can't spend it anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, people don't like,
go anywhere.
People don't like $100 bills. People don't like $50 bills.
You can get probably $1,500 for your trash can.
Probably. I don't know if I'm going to sell it. I may still use it. I'm thinking about, if I sell it, I think I got to ship it and do all that crap.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll get rid of it. I don't know. I spent so much money to get it fixed a while back. You remember that whole thing?
I thought you got a deal. Wasn't it like $300 and you got a brand new machine?
Huh?
Wasn't it like $300 and you got a brand new machine?
Yeah. Well, it was $400 and I got a brand new machine. What happened is they fixed it, but they didn't fix it correctly, so they then sent it down to Texas and had everything inside it replaced. So it was like a brand new machine, and
Yeah.
Somebody wrote, David Valecci says, "Congrats on the purchase of the studio. The matching monitor is not really needed." I know it's not needed at all. You can plug anything in here,
Yeah.
So I'm just going to use the monitors I have now. I may maybe change out one of the ones here for one of the ones that I have in the other office because it's a really good LG,
Yeah.
So we'll see. It'll take me time, but anyway, I'm probably going to try and install it this week, and I have to move all the stuff that's on this machine over to that machine using a thing called clone something or another.
Yeah. Make a backup of your operating system so if it does go down or something happens.
Well, I don't need to do that because the operating system is going to be installed on this new one. And if I screw up and I want to just go back to basic, I just reinstall you go up to the cloud to get it. So
Yeah.
no big deal. But anyway, I'm very, very happy that I bought this thing and got rid of all that cash. Although I still have a lot of cash, but I got rid of a lot of the cash.
Yeah.
What I did
Well,
is I
you
called
can
it
send some my way.
Well, I've been waiting for this version of it to come out because this is not
Yeah.
easily. If you order this from Apple, it takes them 8 weeks to get it to you. So
Yeah.
I was glad to see this configuration available again, and I called them today and I said, "Look, I want to pay cash with this thing. I don't want to go online and reserve it." But they said, "Just give us your name and we'll reserve it for you if you can get down here by 7 o'clock tonight." So I went down, got it, went home with it, and here it is. I don't know if it works or not. I haven't plugged it in yet.
Yeah. Well,
I'm-
Apple.
And if we
got
don't,
your-
if we don't have a show on Wednesday, please forgive me. Although I might do the show on like Facebook or something, but it'll work. It'll work.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Hey, talking about no show on Wednesday, I got the word. You told Shecky, and therefore he told Tony, and now the whole world knows what happened to you.
Well, then I don't have to tell it.
Well, or at least the Tony connected world. Did you trip on something in the hallway? What happened?
Is that what Tony said?
Yeah.
He got it all wrong.
No, he didn't say you tripped on something. He said you got up to pee. And why don't you tell it?
Well, we start the night before.
Right.
Where we're at a restaurant here in New York. I won't say the name of it because they're very nice and they're very good, and we called them and they're trying to rectify their problem. But I ordered one of my favorite dishes. Always, whenever I see it on a menu, I'm like a fly to shit. It's tuna tartare.
Oh, I thought you were a mac and cheese guy.
No, when you give me raw tuna,
yeah,
stacked up with avocado and things like that, I'm there.
I like sashimi.
So I had that for dinner.
Yeah.
So now, cut to 4:00 in the morning, and all of a sudden I'm waking up, and I feel like I've got to barf.
Wow. Bad fish?
Huh?
Bad fish?
Apparently, I had a gastro guy once who said to me, if you want to find out if it's food poisoning from whatever you ate, and you want to figure out what you ate that did it, go back about 8 hours, and you'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't throw up. I can't tell you the last time I did throw up. I've just never been a puker. Okay, if I can put it gently. So I mean, but I am nauseous as hell, and I know I've got to get this stuff up. So then I go to get out of bed, but I am so lightheaded, I am so out of it that I can't do it. So I lie back in the bed, but I'm lying back in the bed with this feeling I've got just this horrible feeling of nausea. Okay. Yeah. So I finally decided I got to do something about this. I got to get into the bathroom and hurl. So I get up and to go to the bathroom, and I am now lightheaded like you can't believe, and just out of it. And I get into the bathroom, and I go to the sink, run over to the sink because I'm about to puke, to go to the sink and puke, and I hit my head against the sink.
Wow.
And I fall to the floor. And I'm not knocked out, okay? That's not what happened to me. I'm not knocked out. But I am on the floor. And I want to get up, but every time I raise my head, I want to puke. So I just lie there, and I'm lying there, and finally I yell out to Marjorie, and she wakes up and she says, "What's happening?" And I'm telling her.
Don't you have a guest as well?
No, not now.
Oh,
not
they're not.
Right.
Oh.
And I said, she said, "What are you? What's happening?" I said, I'm nauseous as hell, and I can't get up now. I just fell down. I hit my head on the sink, and.
Did Marjorie have any of this tuna tartare?
No, she didn't. So in fact, I look on the floor and there's a little blood on the floor. I don't know what from, because afterwards we couldn't find any lesion or anything. But anyway, it's just terrible. And she says, "Well, let me help you up." And then she starts helping me up. And I said, "Don't do it." I said, "I'm going to hurl everywhere, And I figured maybe I could inch with my butt back into the bedroom or something, or over to the bathtub, but I can't even do that. I'm just so weak and so out of it, and I can't. There's no way I could stand up.
Wow.
Okay. So finally she says, "Do you want me to call an ambulance?" I said, "What other choice do we have?"
That's one way to get seen pretty quickly at the hospital.
Yeah, she calls 911.
Yeah.
And I'm like lying on my back, and it's interesting when somebody calls 911 and you're almost passed out in the bathroom, and you're lying on your back in the bathroom, and I'm right near the street in that room, or somewhat near the street in that room.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you hear the sirens coming. And I could swear I heard 2 sirens. I think, every ambulance tries to get the job, and then when the other one gets there first, they go home, right? So I think 2 ambulances tried to pick me up. Finally, they come up to the apartment and they say, "Well, we got to get which hospital do you want to go to?" And I said, "Mount Sinai. I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
Mount Sinai."
Did they pump your stomach?
No, well, they can't do that. All they can do is render first aid and get you.
No. I at Mount Sinai.
Well, you're getting ahead of the story.
Oh, okay.
So this whole thing ends with the possibility of cancer. Okay, just to keep you there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I said Mount Sinai. So they get me into one of my chairs. Oh no, they brought in their own kind of. It's not a wheelchair, but it's a chair that has wheels.
Yeah, they can use it to go up and down stairs.
Yeah, stuff like that. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, they take me out to the elevator, and they put me in the elevator, and I can't remember. I think I was still in the chair. Then when we got down to the lobby, they had a gurney waiting for me there,
They transferred you.
They transferred me to the gurney and strapped me in. They don't want to get sued, right?
Do you think that the gurney was too large for the elevator?
It could have been, but it doesn't matter. It was in the lobby, and they could get me down to the lobby.
Yeah, but that's why they didn't bring it upstairs.
Probably, although I think it can get in there if you turn it up. Well, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with the story.
Yeah.
So now they take me to Mount Sinai. Now the thing that bothered me, it's the same thing that bothered me when Marjorie got sick and we had to get an ambulance to take her to Mount Sinai.
Yeah.
They don't run the sirens. Like, I'm not in that bad a shape they can't run the sirens, or at least give me a cheap thrill that we're zipping past all the traffic with sirens. No, it's just, we'll get them there eventually. How you doing, Bob? You want to get lunch after this creep goes to the hospital? Yeah.
Did they put saline on you or in you?
No, they didn't do any of that. They can't do that.
Really?
They can't. That would require an injection, and I don't think they're supposed to be able to do that. They're only able to render first aid, really.
Well, when they're in contact with the hospital by radio, the doctor could say, start a saline drip.
No, they can't do that.
Oh, okay.
They can't do that. Okay, so anyway, they can't run the sirens, they can't do the other things. So,
Fair enough.
Yeah. So anyway, what happens next? Oh yeah, so we get to the hospital, and you're right. It's better than having to wait in the emergency room lobby because
Right.
you're being gurneyed in. You're already for them. And there's another gurney waiting for me, which they shift me over to, which they then take into the emergency room, which is chock full of people. It's like a human body factory.
Were they all wearing masks?
And they were all, yes, when you go in fact, I didn't have a mask because I was in my underpants.
Yeah.
Marjorie was thoughtful enough to bring my pants along with her, which I put on later in the day when I was capable of doing it. But I didn't bring a mask or anything, and I don't think she had an extra one, so they gave me a mask at the door. Here, boom, put it on. So yeah, everybody in Mount Sinai had masks.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what?
Were you still feeling like aspirating? Or?
Oh, I was in terrible shape. I was still couldn't get up, raise my head without feeling nauseous, and I in fact hurled once in the
ER?
in the what do you call it? Yeah,
Either the ER or the
I'm looking for something here. I'll show you in a second. I can find it. What did I do with it? Huh. Oh, here it is. I got to go over here again, folks. So let me ask you what you think this is, not knowing what I was trying to lead up to anyway. What is this?
It's a hurl bag.
Well, to me it looks like an elephant condom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably to hurl in, or
it's a hurl bag. I said I think I'm going to hurl in the ambulance because I hurled in the driveway here. I hurled in my bathtub, So they said, oh, no, well, this is one they gave me once I got in there, because this doesn't have any puke in it. But look what they do. They have a thing here that tells you how much you puked. Yeah.
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 Well, I would think that the amount of puke that you had, that you were fairly dehydrated. That's why I asked about the saline.
Well, then I said, I need something to make me stop puking, and the doctor immediately goes and gets a First, they put on in the injection thing. Whenever you go to the hospital now,
it's called a port, right?
I call it my USB port.
Yeah.
It's like they find a vein, they put this thing in, they then tape the whole thing up, and then anything they want to do to you, want to give you the anti-puke stuff, they just go through the port. It's there. And if they want to do saline, they go through the port. So it goes on and on and on. So first thing they did was give me the anti-puke medicine, and then they started putting me on the saline drip.
Yeah.
And I was just finally, the puke went away. The desire to puke went away, which was a blessing. Because when I was going in the ambulance, it was hitting bumps and everything. And I was going, oh my God, this is horrible. That's when I was using the bag they gave me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, New York, I understand. When I lived there, it was full of potholes.
Well, this certainly was part of that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, but.
Well, wait a minute. You haven't heard the full story.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this goes. Plan on sitting around for the next 20 minutes.
All right.
So now they say, well, what's the problem? And I told them what the problem was, and they went, well, first of all, we better go do a CT scan on your head.
Smart.
To make sure that you didn't do anything there. So I went and I got myself a CT scan there. And I had to go up, and that takes forever. Well, that didn't take forever. In fact, I was kind of out of it at that point. So they probably could have thrown me in an MRI and I wouldn't have panicked. I was just so out of it, I wouldn't know where I was. So they did that to me. They bring me back down. I'm trying to remember all the things that happened. And then they said, well, what we got to do is we've got to check your heart. So you need a echocardiogram. I said, well, I've had one from my doctor. They said, not like this one.
Yeah.
So they take me.
Did you tell them about your little issue with echocardiograms?
Yeah, oh yeah, I told them I had a what do you call it? Aortic stenosis, mild aortic stenosis. So I went to the up there, and it took forever. I mean, they had me just sitting there forever and ever. And the reason was, one of their CAT scan machines was out.
Mm.
So they were working at a third of capacity or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And
it was taking forever. And Marjorie was sitting there forever.
And they probably didn't want you to fall asleep, because if you fall asleep and you'd hit your head,
no, they didn't care. They didn't care.
Oh,
they didn't
okay.
care. I was sleeping.
Just another Jew.
Well, no, I was sleeping, as a matter of fact.
Really?
And finally, I went and they gave me the echocardiogram, which took 25 minutes. And I asked the woman, "Why does it take this long?" She says, "Well, your doctor just does a minor thing. He's looking for a few things. I'm looking for everything." And the wonderful thing about this echocardiogram, I found out that if I die, it ain't going to be my heart.
Did they speed up your heart by giving you a drug?
No. This had nothing to do with an echocardiogram. That's a nuclear stress test.
That's a treadmill thing.
That's a nuclear stress test. So anyway, they did that to me. What else did they do? They did a bunch of things. Wait a minute, I have. Hold on a second. I got to go back and get something. I've got the whole list here of things they did to me. I got.
How much did they charge you? Did they take you in and have you sign some stuff and
report,
give them a credit card or?
Huh? Well, this is the complete report of everything that went on yesterday.
Yeah.
And all this stuff is the CAT scans, but I want to get away from that. because I want to find out what they did to me. Well, here is if I see. I gotta look at this to just remember what they did to me. It was. Let me see here. Let me see here. They gave me the pills, and then they give me my medications and instructions. And now wait a minute, I got to find this. Where is it? Here is a near syncope. They really were treating me for the wrong thing. They were treating me for almost fainting when they should have been treating me for the nausea and everything like that. And I said, I'd had this food the night before, and okay, but where's that list that I had? I had a list here. Maybe it was in my oh damn it, I'm trying to remember what other tests they gave me yesterday.
You said it was Senecot?
Huh?
Isn't Senecot to make you poop?
No, Syncop.
Oh, Syncop.
It's a condition.
Oh.
I guess it's passing out. But well, wait a minute. Final result of this, that, and the other thing. I don't know. I don't get this. I have more stuff here. More stuff they did. Wait a minute. I got an idea. What I'll do is I'll go to my, where is it? My chart. Okay.
Yeah.
My chart. Mount Sinai. My chart home. There we go. Come on, give it to me. Sign in. Okay. And now, because I think this is where I found it. Test results. Okay. In fact, I can let people see the test results here. Let me see here. Where's the computer?
Right. I'm looking.
There we go. There's the computer. Let me just put this up here. There we go. Look at this. They did like 17 different tests on me. They gave me a CT of my thorax. This is up here. That's what they did on the first one. Then they did a urine sample. My urine was fine. My urinalysis was fine. Microscope exam of urine. Urine dipstick. Troponini eye. I don't know what that is. That looks like it's an Italian gel or something like that, Let me see here. I want to, let me put this in here.
What do they do with the urine dipstick? See if you're low on oil?
That was that. Yeah, right. Cervical without contrast, head with contrast, albumin, this, that. Look at all this stuff.
What was the contrast?
This is all the stuff
CT scan?
yesterday, folks.
Wow. Is the contrast with the CT scan?
Yeah, that was with a second CT scan. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Routine test, gas electrolytes. Then they went, oh, this was old. So from here all the way up to here are all the tests they did on me yesterday. And all the things they did, all the things they did.
I don't see it on YouTube yet.
They did a. Oh, you know why? I haven't put it on YouTube. Let me put it on YouTube. Okay, here we go. There you go, folks. I'm sorry you didn't see it, but look at this. Look at all of these. Look at all of these. Look. That's about 17, maybe 20 different things they did.
There we go.
Yeah, urine dipstick, venous paddle. So, I mean, it's really, look at that. Oh, wait a minute. No, wait. Excuse me. That's another thing altogether. From here, okay, all the way up to, come on, stop it.
Wow.
Come on, stop it.
I see this one that says conclusion, tummy ache.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at all those things, folks. Anyway, so then, let me see. Then I'm through with the electrocardiogram. By the way, what an electrocardiogram really is a sonogram, but it's a really heavy duty sonogram. Let me get back to you, Phil. There we go. It's a heavy duty sonogram, and so she's looking at this thing, And she's trying to get me not to look because she wants me to sit still, you know, and she's rubbing the stuff all over me and the grease and everything like that. And I say, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say a joke here. And she's looking at me, yeah. I said, and I bet this is a joke that just about everybody says to you. He said, what? I said, is it a boy or a girl? She says, everybody thinks they're funny saying that. Anyway, so they then do. Then
Good thing you're not a comedian.
I go back down, and they say, well, we got to give you another. We got to do another CT scan on you. And I went, why? They said, well, we checked your head. There's nothing wrong with your head, but you have enlarged lymph nodes in your neck. And we want to check and make sure that, you know, of what it might or might not be. So we want to look at your entire body to see if you have cancer. So,
well, they already put the contrast in, right?
No, I didn't get contrast for the head and stuff. I got contrast when I went for the second one. So now I go in for the second one. And this is the one where the CT scan isn't working. So I'm having to wait and wait and wait and wait. And finally they get me and they put me in there. They do the CT scan. I then go back. I don't go back. They roll me back.
The timeline, this started at 4 a.m, right?
Yeah, this is now 3 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah. So we go back. And what's wonderful about being in the CT area and in the electrocardiogram thing is it's very quiet there. But then you're rolled. Then
right?
What?
Were you in the hallway?
No, you're in an office.
Oh.
And
okay.
they then roll you back to the emergency room where it's hell, a living hell. And it's more crowded than it was earlier in the day, right? And then I go down there and they say, well, we have to wait for your doctor to get the results of the CT scan. I said, oh, wonderful. You know, that'll be good. They said, okay, and take about 15 minutes. And somehow these doctors write up a whole report. Look at this. This is like 1, 2, 3 pages of reports that have to do.
They probably have a ton of boilerplate, and they just put your name in.
They probably do, or things that they cut and paste.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, it doesn't look like that. Like for instance, it says, let's see here, impression bowel or something with my bowel, where they said it was unimpressionable. Oh no, yeah. But anyway, he writes up this whole report. It's three pages. Well, the first one is on the first thing I had, and it said that I have enlarged, rounded, numerous cervical and supraclavicular lymph nodes, which warrants further clinical investigation. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you know,
did they tell you all of this as it was happening, or
no. This is when we get the results.
Found it out afterwards.
The result of the second one was a borderline-sized pelvic, axillary, and retrospectal lymph nodes. These are nonspecific and can be reactive. Okay.
Did you have your tonsils out?
No. What are you asking these stupid questions?
Well, because usually they take the lymph nodes with the tonsils, right?
Not in my case. I still have lymph nodes in my neck.
Yeah. Oh.
Anyway, I have a hernia. It's nice to know, though, that there is no evidence of obstruction. So that's good. Diverticulitis without evidence of diverticula. Diverticulosis without any hint of diverticulitis. And a scattered, now here's what it is, scattered 1 to 2 millimeter pulmonary nodules. That's nodules in my lung. Likely infectious/inflammatory. Recommend follow-up as per clinician. So those are the things they found that were bad.
This is the best exam I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
You know, and the most complete.
Well, I mean, it certainly takes care of a lot of the questions I had about my health. But I looked up this whole thing about those nodules, And if they're under 3 millimeters, you don't worry about them. You just keep looking at them, see if they grow or not grow. One of the ones I had, they said hadn't grown because they had another, I don't know where they got it. They had another CT scan of me from 2015, and it hadn't grown at all. So that one I don't have to worry about. The other one is a new one. That one I might have to worry about or have to go back, and because it's only 2 centimeters, they're not going to do anything about it. Millimeters, they're not going to do anything about it. They have to, I read all this online. I just know this as a little thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So then what happened? Oh, so then she says, now we could have you go to a. She wanted me to go to a. What is it? Hematologist slash
blood doctor. Yeah.
Huh?
Is that a blood doctor?
It's a blood doctor. Yeah. Hematologist. He looks at the lymph nodes, or
Right.
she, or whoever it will be. Looks at the lymph nodes and decides what to do with them. But that's what she does, or he does. And he's also a what do you call it? What do you call people who deal with cancer? Oncologist.
Oncologist. Yeah.
They're all those hematology people are also oncologists for some odd and unexplainable reason. So she said, if I were you, I'd make an appointment just to have this stuff checked out so we can see if it's nothing, which, as I read online, it probably is. It's something that either we have to watch and wait or has not presented a problem at all since 2015. So
Right, it hasn't grown.
And it says that most people who have smoked have these nodules in their lungs. So, maybe I have cancer, but I doubt it. The signs aren't there.
And it hasn't progressed.
Anything under 3 millimeters,
6 years.
they don't worry about. One of them.
7 years.
One of them. The other one has come into being since then. I don't know if that's the small one or the large one. But anyway, I don't think the doctor is going to be panicked by that. I think that the enlarged nodules, or not nodules, but lymph nodes, is due to the fact that I had just been throwing up and sweating. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I sweated so much that the bed was just like soaked. Okay, wow. And then when they picked me up, the people from the ambulance, you could see the print of my entire body in sweat on the floor. So tell me that isn't going to affect lymph nodes.
Why? I hope you didn't leave too big of a tip.
Yeah, but she was just all welled up with this idea of well, we don't know if it's food poisoning or not, but it could be this, it could be that, and I'm going, it could be the answer for the lymph nodes.
Right.
I mean, what do lymph nodes do when they get pressure put on them, when they get disease or something in the area? And certainly there was a toxin in my body if I had food poisoning. It was reacting to the toxin, and maybe all those other ones were as well. When I go in to see this doctor, he may feel for those lymph nodes and nothing's going on down there.
Now, did they serve this meal to other people at the restaurant? Did you call the restaurant to see?
Yeah, we called the restaurant. They said nobody else had the problem. But, how many people would call the restaurant and say, I got food poisoning there?
I would do that because I wouldn't want other people to.
Marjorie did it because she wanted them to know there might be a chance of that.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so that's so they send me home. And
that's quite a workup for an emergency room.
So you can see why I didn't do a show last night.
Well, I mean, you probably could have.
After all of that, I'd rather take the night off.
Yeah.
And not just go on the air and go, oh, guess what happened to me today?
Yeah, well, I would imagine you were up all night, all day.
And then I woke up this morning, and I was afraid that I was going to be nauseous somewhere in the night. So I was afraid. Oops! I just pushed something all wrong, folks. What did I do?
I don't see anything wrong.
I didn't want this. And
I see now.
oh, I
Yeah,
see what I've done. I see
yeah,
what I've done. Hold on
you
a
got
second.
it
I got
twice.
How did that happen?
Oh.
Oh boy.
So now, is this restaurant? Does it specialize in raw fish
Wait,
dishes?
hold on a second. I got to get this thing out.
Oh,
of here.
sure.
There we go.
Okay.
God damn it.
Now you've got your something else showing.
What? No, I don't. But no, you're watching it in.
No, I'm watching on.
Yeah, you're watching it delayed. That's what just
Oh, yeah,
happened that I was
okay.
trying to clear up.
All right, now it's good.
Um,
So I at one point just wanted to have sashimi every day. And so I looked around I went to Yelp and I looked at restaurants that were specialized in sashimi. And some of them are not so good. Yeah, I didn't get food poisoning, but I could taste it. It was frozen. It just wasn't the quality of sashimi you look for. And if you're going to eat raw fish, you really want something good. So I found a restaurant in Walnut Creek called Sasa, and this restaurant has really fresh fish, and that's all they do. If you go sometimes to a restaurant that has a dish or two, but doesn't have the turnover of fish, there's a good chance you get sick. I ordered a pizza once with clams on it. I had food poisoning for 3 days. It was awful.
this was the most awful thing I've felt. You
See,
know.
see, I heard from Tony that you woke up in the middle of the night to go urinate Wednesday and realized that Phil was going to be on the show that night and got sick. No, I'm kidding. So I'm happy to hear that
Don't
you're
listen
okay.
to Tony's interpretation of it because he got it from
I'm
Shecky, and then
Right.
he then tells you people that I got up in the middle of the night with it, whatever. You know.
Well,
I'm
it
happy
was-
to hear you're okay.
Well,
Partially true.
No, now I've got cancer. Okay.
No, you probably don't. So, yeah, just syncope is a medical term for fainting. You were talking about that.
Yeah, but she made a big deal out of that, and I didn't faint. At no point did I faint. I just couldn't keep my balance.
Right. Well, that all that's consistent with food poisoning, everything, and the radiologist put unremarkable, meaning they don't see any problem. That's their way of saying they don't.
Yeah, they went
The
unremarkable.
radiologist term, instead of saying nothing wrong, they say it's unremarkable. So
Yeah, but it was funny because I looked at my whole body. They didn't find cancer. They just found these nodules.
sometimes these CT scans find things that they weren't looking for. So
Well, that's why I hate going to the hospital.
Follow
They're going to
up.
find things they're not looking for.
You're going to be around another 20 years. Follow up.
That's why I would like an MRI, because they can take an MRI of your brain and they can see if there are areas that are black where the brain hasn't filled in, and they can tell if you've got like Alzheimer's or you're on your way to Alzheimer's or dementia.
I looked at my thing, and the brain part just was it was disappeared. It was nothing there. The back of my skull was.
Yeah. No, but it's that view from your feet towards the head, and they can see these open areas. Because my memory has been slipping lately, I've been watching all these YouTubes about Alzheimer's, and can you get it early, and if you discover it, what can you do to reverse it, and things like that.
Well, if they ever want to give me an MRI, they've got to send me to some place where it's an open MRI. I can't do it.
Absolutely. I'm claustrophobic in those things.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah, some people. Marjorie has no problem. She falls asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hear it's really noisy in there.
It is very noisy.
Not really. It's you hear those magnets.
They're huge magnets. They're moving around for different images.
Yeah, why do you
and
need
it
that?
sounds like a jackhammer.
CT scans are usually preferable.
CT is quiet. It's like you go through a big donut.
It whirls around. Makes a little whirling sound. Hello, Brian. Hello, Ray. Hello. Oh, there's John Larkin.
Hello.
As I live and breathe. And there's the rumor mongerer, Tony Magno.
I'm in Tony's circle, and he didn't mention anything about it. We're talking about Warriors all day. So
Who cares?
Yeah.
They lost.
Yeah. Where are you outside? It looks like you have an Italian cedar there or something. That tree.
oh yeah, and here's this. I'm watching this crazy one.
Oh, really?
Say hi. Say hi.
Hi there.
We graduated. She graduated from
Brian.
We graduated from kindergarten today, so
you bought her a hot tub. What a good father.
Had that, and then had an eighth grade graduation today too. So
yeah, it's terrible when they don't let you graduate from kindergarten.
Yeah, man, a lot of skills. You should have heard the commencement speech. It was awesome.
Really?
Plays well with others.
I was answering that.
Didn't you have to go through kindergarten 3 times, Phil?
I couldn't pass that plays well with others part.
Well, you can tell that by just his participation in this program.
Yeah, exactly.
You told your story, Alex. It took about 40 minutes, and it was interesting. It would have only taken 20 if Phil didn't interrupt you every 5 words.
Yeah, well, it took me 40 minutes to tell and about 8 to 10 hours to do. And I'm sure I'm leaving stuff out because for part of it I was in an absolute haze. I didn't know what was going on. I mean, they weren't giving me. All they gave me was certain medicine to take care of the nausea, but that's about it, and the drip, So.
Wow, really? Doesn't it burn when you urinate?
What? After the drip?
Drip?
No.
Nah, he's talking about having
Yeah, I'll tell you the worst part about them doing a drip is that you have to urinate every half hour or something.
Absolutely.
Because they're pumping water into you, pumping saline into you. Yep. And so now they send me up to get this full CT, right? Where they're going to do the contrast and everything. And they hand me 2 bottles of water. And they say, drink this before you get up there. And I assume it's because it helps with the CT scan, helps to see things better and so on. So I drink both bottles of those, and then I get up there, and they go, well, one of our CT scan is not working. So we're really slow. So it's taken forever. And I'm going, I've got to pee now. I just drank these 2 bottles of water, right? And I finally said to them, can I pee? Do you mind if I pee? Because this is terrible. You're not getting to me, and I drank it, so it would be good for the seat. They said, go ahead, pee. So I did. But I was peeing a lot.
Yeah.
What?
They actually give you the water to flush the contrast. The contrast in a CT scanner is iodine.
No, they gave it to me before they gave me this.
Yeah, well, it takes time to work through your system. So.
No, that is why they gave it to you. They give it to you so it will make things larger in that area and so on, so they can look at it. But anyway, they even looked at my
ulcer.
Oh, no, what's the bulb?
Saw a picture of Phil in your hemorrhoid.
Can I please think for a second without you guys interrupting? No, I have a hernia, and I've always been worried about it because if a hernia goes and whatever. And it looked and it said, but it's not the constricting or anything like that. So I know my hernia is fine. Okay. So I mean, I think I should get a full body scan every year, and I wouldn't be a hypochondriac anymore, or maybe I would increase.
Maybe you will be.
Well, I'm thinking the nodules will turn cancerous and I'll die, but then again, But it's okay. I'm not worried about it.
What can they do about those nodules? Anything?
Not really. The nodules they can go in if they get to a point where they go over 3 millimeters. They could get cancerous. They're usually not cancerous under 3 millimeters. I'm at 2 millimeters, 1 to 2 millimeters. So it's not, I'm not in that cancerous area, but it could get to that, And if it gets to that, I think they just go in there and remove it, go into your lung and take it out.
Like polyps in your colon. When they get to a certain size, they just go in there and remove them.
On those nodules in the heart? I mean, in the
In the lungs.
In the lungs.
Lungs, yes.
So it's not the same as lung cancer.
No.
No.
My mother had that. I think.
And I think I may have the one I have, the first one, because I smoked. You know.
Yeah, my mother was a smoker. She had
Or
it.
it might just be
Wait a
your
minute,
age.
wait,
And I'm not picking on your age. I mean, as you get older, things happen.
What'd you say, Tony?
My mother was a smoker a long time ago, and when she was alive, it was about, I would say she was in her mid-50s. She had something on her, a nodule on the lung. It was a little past 3, so they biopsied it, and it was negative because she stopped smoking it. But other than that, it just stayed there. They never did anything. It always would come up in the X-ray. It just stayed.
Yeah,
I remember
but they, if it was under 3, they wouldn't have biopsied it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
It was about 3, and I remember Dr. Rubin said, we're going to biopsy it. We never did. So she was worried, oh, God, is it lung cancer? He says, I doubt it. He says, well, let's just do it. And it always stayed there. So when we used to go to the doctor for our x-ray, he would show it to me. There it is still, you know.
Yeah.
But it never actually grew again. It never really moved anymore.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even worry about it.
At least
could be
my
like
worries,
30 years.
being knifed in Harlem is a bigger chance, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got a better chance of getting mugged, Alex.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So, you know, I got to tell you, this was quite an adventure because I've never had anything like this happen to me before.
Especially
You know,
early.
I've
At least
never.
trim your toenails for you
I mean,
or something?
When you
Eh,
fell
oh,
on
oh,
the
oh.
sidewalk, when you fell on the sidewalk, did you go to the emergency room to get checked out?
No.
No?
No, I just
Only for your wrist.
I just limped home, and you know my hand was hurting for a couple of days. Whatever.
Sure. The walk of shame.
I've got to go get another shot. My hand's hurting again. But anyway,
They won't give you
I'll tell
another
the
shot
other thing
for 3 months.
But the other thing I was thinking about, I was lying on my back in the bathroom, right? Can't move, can't, you know. And I'm just wondering, I'm saying to myself, first of all, the first thought I had is, I think I'm dying. I think I could die from it. I mean, that was a great fear because I just felt just completely out of it. Like all I had to do was go over the threshold and goodbye, everybody, you know. And the other thing I thought about immediately, and this is the most interesting part of it, I said to myself, I'm here on the bathroom, lying on my back. I don't want to die here because this is where Elvis and Lenny Bruce
I was going to
died.
say, he died on the shit, didn't he?
Yeah. No, please, we have a little girl here. Don't use language
Oh,
like
sorry.
that, Tony.
You know,
Whatever age
I
you're-
was thinking of Atkins when I heard you slipped. You know how Atkins slipped on the ice and hit his head, and that
Did
was
he?
that.
Yeah, I didn't remember that. But anyway, what I was thinking was
The Atkins diet.
Elvis died this way. I don't want to die in the bathroom on my back. You know, where did Alex die? Well, he was in the bathroom. At least these. Well, let's see here. Lenny was lying on the floor like I was, but Elvis actually died on the can.
A lot of
So
these
did my
guys-
father.
Yeah, my grandfather, he was feeling really sick over the weekend, and then went to Doctor Friday. Doctor says, oh, he's fine. That night, Sunday night, he was coughing so much. I went into his bedroom. He wanted to go to the restroom. He went to the restroom, and then I helped him lift him off the toilet, brought him into the bedroom, into the living room, and he died in my arms. But that was the last thing. Like I hear that's the last thing you do is go to the restroom, and then
Wow.
Boy, I'm dying. I think I got to take a good dump.
My dad had open heart surgery, and in '72 they didn't know about clotting medicines. And about 10 days after the operation, he wasn't feeling good. We took him to the ambulance took him to the hospital, and overnight he was in the hospital for a few days and had to go to the bathroom. Went to the bathroom, and that was it. Boom, got a blood clot. Done.
And anti-clotting medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, it was quite an adventure. Spending that many hours in a
ER.
ER.
You have no deductible, I hope.
I have no deductible.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, I have no deductible. Thank God. That's the insurance
when you
we picked.
when you get the bill, you're going to have to let us know, what all these tests
I'm
cost.
imagining the bill. If I were to get a bill, I guess
50K.
I guess I will
Oh,
say
more
what?
than that.
Oh no,
My guess is $50K.
my guess
double.
about $5,000.
That's it.
Yeah, sure. I
I'm
mean,
going to
that's
see
all.
you in ER for a stubbed toe for that.
Well, okay, 10 grand, okay.
All right. What's that TV show that?
But
you used to
after
get?
Medicare says what they'll pay, and my insurance has to go along with what Medicare says it's worth, the hospital's going to get $300.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
that's why
But
they
they'll
get
bill
so high.
50 grand.
Huh?
They'll bill 50.
Don't bill
At
50.
least.
Yeah,
At least.
I think they'll bill 50. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, CT scan and interpretation is about 8,000 on the West Coast. One
Interpret
CT scan and one radiology guy. does
interpretation.
Huh?
Interpretation.
Yeah, well, the radiologist has to interpret it, so his expertise and the CT is about 8 grand on the West Coast.
Oh wow, wow.
MRI is about 10.
How hard can
Isn't that a McLaren payment?
Yeah, no shit.
Hell, my new computer
Mine's
seems
paid off,
my
thank
new
you.
computer seems rather cheap now.
Yeah, right. You can get like a.
Instead of a McLaren payment this month, you bought your daughter a graduation from kindergarten present, a hot tub, right?
No. There's a review. This is the front. Tiffany's parents are here. They're saying goodbye. We had a graduation party, so. Oh yeah, there they are.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So
Very nice.
It's very
Say
nice.
hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Hi. Hi.
Hey, back at you. I'm just doing some stuff I got to do because I had to sign on without doing a lot of stuff. So I'm just getting things set up here. But anyway, so it was kind of a real adventure that I had.
Yeah.
And a scary one as well, because I've never been sick in that way before, and it seems like this is getting to be too much for me. You know, I mean, I fall down, I trip. You know, I do that kind of thing.
You got to take more precautions as you get like over 50.
Yeah.
You know, raw fish is a big get people sick thing if it's not kept right. You know,
Right.
so
Right.
if you need to worry about getting dehydrated and throwing up and maybe having a heart attack or your kidneys shut down or something, maybe you shouldn't eat raw fish anymore.
Well, and you know, it's also the handling of it. You know, if they cross-contaminate it
Yes.
with something else, you could end up getting this kind of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You really are.
But it was get closer to your mic, Tony, because
I said you better off going to McDonald's, Alex. You know what?
well, you know what I said to Marjorie as
Number three.
as we were getting into it was getting to be about 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
As I looked at her and I said, I think the fastest way to get out of this emergency room is to die.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, wrap it up.
They did. Get out of here.
Get him out of here so we
Back
can
up at the morgue.
yeah, send him to the morgue. We haven't got any more room in the emergency for a dead body, you know. But it's just
Tag 'em.
spooky. It's spooky because I've never had anything like this happen to me. I'd never been taken to the hospital in an ambulance.
That's
Wow.
And by the way, this is the second ambulance trip for this family.
Right.
You know, but how much does the ambulance cost?
That's expensive.
700.
That's expensive.
15,000.
I would say 700 for the ambulance.
I'd say about that. Yeah.
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 We'll see. We'll see. When
I'd say
you-
double that.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, here's what they do now. It's very interesting. Thank God they all have iPhones. All these doctors have iPhones. And what happens? Let me throw my stuff in there.
You
Okay.
FaceTime. You don't tell me you FaceTime.
No,
Oh, you're
they
taking
all,
a COVID
they
test,
all have,
John.
They all have. And I've had a
Trying, I can't figure it out though. I think I got a bad
I'll help you in a minute.
Man,
Okay.
Okay, but here's the deal. They all have phones, and what they did with all the phones, which is, you know, is they always are looking at it, and then anytime they give you a pill, it has a barcode on it, right? They take a picture of it and record the barcode, and it goes to some place, and they're charging you for that pill. Everything you do, they change the needle in your arm. Boom, they're coding it, you know, so that every nook and cranny of this process is you're kind of weird, Ray.
Oh,
What
he's
else is
sideways.
new?
Well, yeah, well, he always
You know, there's a guy who is also a photographer that's at the UC Theater, David's Theater, and he's a cardiologist, and we'll be in the pit taking pictures, and he pulls out his iPhone and he's looking at patients, whatever the graph is on his iPhone, to see patients that he's monitoring, and there he is taking pictures at the UC Theater of a rock band.
a lot of I yell and scream about the computerized age we live in, and there are terrible things about it. But this is one of the better things, is that they can keep tabs on you,
Especially if you have an iPhone and an iPod.
they see. I don't know how they could tell where I was at any given time, but they always seem to know.
Because you have the location on your phone turned on, and so they can track.
Oh,
you.
really? This phone wasn't with me.
Oh, oops.
Listen, I
So
left
What
the
about
house.
your iWatch?
I was
Yeah, what
rolled
about your
out of
watch?
this, and my watch went dead during the whole process of the
I had to
day.
get rid of
Do
all
we
your
want to
apps.
help John Larkin do his test?
No, I'm getting it. I'm figuring it out. I got it.
Okay, you just one quickly. You take that cap off.
Yeah.
You put the solution in there. No. You put the solution in that thing that has
No,
the
the
cap
newer
on
ones
it.
come with the solution in them.
And then you shove the whole thing up your
You dip
ass.
the swab in there after you open it up, right?
No.
it says
What
here-
happens after you take the solution off? There's a reader. All right. After you put the swab in.
I
Wait
know.
a
And-
minute, Phil. Wait a minute, Phil.
I
Phil.
know.
Phil.
And-
All
yeah.
he's got to do is go to the website for these, and they have a video in YouTube.
Yeah, but
No.
if he puts the solution in that thing, and then what he's going to do is he's going to swab his
I'd rather hear about Alex.
his nose. Who's going to put it into the solution?
Can we talk about computer problems? Can we talk about computer
Yeah,
problems? or
really.
Then you're going to put the cap on. Then you put 3 drops.
Boy, this is great programming.
3
isn't it?
drops in the reader and wait 15 minutes.
This is really
Got it
exciting
wrong.
stuff.
You got it wrong. This is you do the nose thing, and then you dip the swab
Right.
into this, and then you dump it into the reader.
That's correct.
That's right. This is why he was really sick with a cold last week. It was really COVID because he kept using the test.
I
run.
did 5 of them.
Oh,
Yeah, he kept putting up his ass. That was the problem.
that's
Bad
right.
sample.
Yep, bad samples.
Did anybody watch the
Oh yeah.
thing tonight?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
January 6th.
Oh,
we
I
did.
did.
I think it's getting closer and closer to cuffs for Trump, huh? No?
Well, I mean,
He'll never go to jail.
yeah,
That's not
I
even a
agree.
criminal. That's court.
They're gonna
It's just a
get
hearing.
all the low hanging fruit and leave the big guy alone.
No, I think they're going for him right off the bat.
They're trying to turn him into a felon so he can't run again.
Oh, that's a good thing.
He's going to run. It's just a matter of
Trying to
whether
put
the
him in
Republicans.
jail.
I don't think he's going to run, or if he tries, they're not going to nominate him.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get nominated.
You know, I think they feel he's got too much stuff against him now to have to go through another one of these things. You know?
Over
But
the weekend,
I
NB
really want to see him go to jail, though.
yeah.
He totally deserves
Yeah,
it.
me
Over the
too,
weekend,
but I don't think so.
NBC ran a poll of Trump versus DeSantis, and they said DeSantis would beat Trump if the election was held today, based on this is NBC.
Yeah, well, I love this. You know, we're about 2.5 years away from the next election. Will you
Hopefully
just not?
both of them will
Will you
have a heart
just
attack and
stop?
die.
Will you just
two-
stop?
2.5 years means they're going to start campaigning and raising well, they've always been raising money, but you know how the campaigns, you said that you would like campaigns to start 30 days prior to the election. Well, I think they started 2 years ago.
Yeah. No, there's no question about it. And I really think it's ridiculous, okay? I really think it's terrible. I think that, you know, what we should do is hold the primary, you know, start about a year before the election. And then do all your stuff you got to do and your debates and stuff for the primaries. And then you put up your best person and then the two of them debate for a little bit, starting in July and or August, and then you hold the election. 1 year. Nobody should even be campaigning before a year.
We just had a primary in California where the progressive district attorney in San Francisco was ousted in a 60-40 vote.
That wasn't a primary.
It was
recall.
It was a recall.
Yeah, well, the recall was part of the primary. So there were other things on this. There were what do they call those? Like propositions, as well as for instance, in Contra Costa, we had the sheriff, we had the DA, we had the senators, and the governor.
Well, propositions are, it should be pretty good to John. John Larkin would know about propositions because on the street where he lives, they're going on all the time. John got that.
I got it.
He lives in the Tenderloin. Get it?
And Dave Chappelle says there's nothing tender about that area.
Isn't that the truth?
Anyway, I don't know. I don't care. I don't watch like MSNBC. I'm starting to watch CNN because they have a new policy now, and the new policy is that they don't want to advocate journalists, the people who read the news, to advocate, and I think that's good.
That started already?
Yeah,
because that was their plan.
Yeah,
and I tell you the truth, I think that's that's one avenue that has not been explored for a long time, and I think that would be a really.
In other words, they feel that what they should be doing is journalism,
right,
not advocacy. And I'm sick and tired of turning on MSNBC, and I'm sure you're kind of sick of tuning into Fox, and you know what to expect,
Yeah. Well, I watch those shows where they're on the couch and they're pushing their books, and the guy from My Pillow is advertising. I watch those pretty lightweight things. I get up in the morning and.
Well, you don't get more lightweight than the My Pillow guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there is those. What is it? The 6 pills you can take for getting your vegetables. That's a big one. Now,
you wrote me something the other day, and I should bring it. I brought it up the other night, and I'll bring it up now while you're here. And that was that you said that you're really not going to go out after Biden anymore. That you feel maybe your job is to support the president, or to at least not be unsupportive of him.
That's true. As far as I don't like. I didn't like all of this stuff that they did to Trump to try to interfere with him doing what he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
Basically, they went after.
What to Trump? What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, basically they went after him personally, and I figure that the majority of people voted for Biden. They wanted what he said he was going to do. He was going to raise the gas. He was going to raise taxes. He was going to, go after fossil fuels and so forth. And that's what he said he was going to do, and that's what he's doing. Those people voted for him, and that's what they wanted. Now, whether it works out is a different story, but it's, I supported what Trump was doing, and he said, I'm going to do this. These are the judges I'm going to elect, and so forth. And I was, I supported that. But my guy didn't win, and so therefore I'm just going.
He did win.
John, it's at this point the other guy got sworn in, so once he got sworn in, it's over. And
he's tired of all the negative stuff going on the show
and
in his life, and he's just.
He doesn't like. I don't think he likes the negative stuff.
He's a very positive person.
I don't think he likes what's going on in the country so far as negative stuff is concerned, and you don't want to be part of it anymore.
That's true.
Yeah, and that's basically what you told me. It's not that you've suddenly decided not to have your politics that you've always had, but that you're just going to take a different approach to defending them.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't think. I think that calling somebody the Orange Man or going after Biden, saying he's crazy or he's losing his mind, those kinds of things don't do anything to help the nation. All they do is tear things down and make more division. So, I just figured that's it. I didn't like what they did to Trump, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to lower myself to do it to Biden.
Okay. All right.
Everybody should know that 2 weeks ago, Phil slipped and was unconscious for a couple minutes, and then when he came to, he changed his mind. He's actually a very positive person, and it surprises me sometimes what he says on the show, and sometimes I think it's just to get everybody's goat.
Well, I just decided that I didn't want to play in that sandbox.
That's right. It's time to move on.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, Phil. So anyway, has anybody ever had the kind of situation that I had yesterday, where you got you got dizzy and nauseous and you couldn't get your head off the pillow, perhaps,
Yep. I've had food poisoning. It's horrible.
Yeah, I mean,
I have.
You have, Ray?
Yeah.
Did the same thing kind of happen to you?
Yeah, and I ended up in the hospital like that, and I did CT scans, and they were they thought I had a brain embolism, and they were getting ready to do brain surgery on me. I was just about to get a spinal tap, and then it was the middle of the night, and the head surgeon called in desperately and said, "No, he just has a large vein in his head. Do not open him up." And then I had a headache. Huh?
Was that due to an MMA match?
No, but did you hit your
No,
head?
I had a I had a hypertensive crisis because of some medicine I took.
See?
And it made me pass out, and I was
Gotta stay away from that Viagra.
No, it wasn't that. And then, and then they gave me some medicine because I had a headache, and that gave me a reaction where I completely lost my mind, and I didn't know I was allergic to it. They sent me a bill for $60,000, and it got negotiated down to 30, and then they were going to make me pay like 15 or 20, and I said, I'm not paying a penny. First of all, you made all these mistakes. You almost did surgery on my brain. You gave me a medicine that drove me out of my mind. They told me they were going to sue me. Then I said, I'm not paying anything. A year later, I got a letter from Stanford saying they've forgiven the whole thing, and I didn't pay a penny.
Yours is 60,000. That's why I say Alex has got 100,000. He won't get billed for that because he's got insurance. But
well, I'm going to get billed for it. I will see the bill.
The is $100,000. I'll bet you.
It was 60,000 if I remember, 60 something, and then the insurance company negotiated and got it down to like 30 something. And they ended up billing me like between 6
Well, you see,
and
here's what
10,000.
my insurance company has to do. Medicare will pay what Medicare will pay, okay? They will immediately negotiate it down because when they say it's only worth this much, right, Jeff? The hospital has to go along with that price that they say it's worth. And then my insurance pays the 20% that Medicare doesn't pay completely. No deductibles, nothing.
I bet you Jeff is the $6 million man. We're talking about 50,000.
Oh yeah.
And so forth. What do you think they got into you, Jeff?
Well, I mean, the best thing is the insurance.
Yeah, but
Otherwise
how much?
they'd be dead financially.
Yeah.
So,
What do you think they spent on you?
at least $2 million.
You know, the thing is, what's interesting today about medicine, what bothers me about it, is that the first question they ask at the hospital of Marjorie when she brought me in was, "What's your insurance?"
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know?
That depends on what they're going to do for you.
And here's the other thing.
Have
I'll tell you
insurance?
the
Give
other
them
thing.
2 aspirins.
The other
Send
thing
them home.
about the insurance, let me explain something about the insurance. So she writes me, sends in a prescription to my pharmacy, right? The pharmacy says we can't do it. So why? Said the doctor has to ask for prior authorization. Sure. And I'm going, let me think about this for a second. They sent me to the hospital because I was nauseous. So they want me to have at least 10 of these pills on hand just in case I get nauseous like this again, right? Yeah. But what if this were some kind of pill that, was essential to my getting better. All right. And I thought for a second, and I went, they'd ask for pre-authorization, and then they wouldn't give it to me until they got the pre-authorization. What? In the meantime, I could die because I didn't have the pills available to me. I mean, it's just terrible what these insurance. What prior authorization? I pay you for pharmaceuticals, for insurance on pharmaceuticals. Now you do your part of the job.
How do you like government-sponsored socialized medicine now?
Yes, I like the idea.
So in California, if you go to the ER doctors do not have to get prior authorization to treat you for anything that they see that you need.
No, but you're talking about treating me there, but when they call in for a prescription, that prescription has to be pre-authorized.
What did they give you? Promethazine, little pills?
No, it's something, I can't remember what it was, but it's an expense.
It's a common anti-nausea.
No, it's well, here, I'll tell you what it is. Hold on. Everybody, hold on a second. I gotta go over here and get the paper.
Are you
This
waiting?
ream of
you're
paper
muted,
that
Brian.
they have on me and what
By the way,
happened.
there's 45 people watching, so not saying that you should hit your head every week, but
Yeah, there are actually 47 people watching right now.
maybe something, just a little
Yeah,
something.
it is 47.
Here we go. What is
One of
it?
the highest.
What is
Oh,
it?
now 47, yeah.
Ona, boy, I never heard of this drug before. Ona Demetron, Odensetron. Odensetron. That's what it says. ODT. And that's what I got. And then I looked to see what it was without the 10 pills without insurance, and it was $75. But I don't know why they don't go ahead and okay that. Hello, Adrian.
That's the graduate.
That's the graduate right there. She graduated kindergarten. Do they teach them a lot in kindergarten now? Because for me, it was just cutting out.
Actually, she's pretty advanced because they're learning how to read and stuff like that, and she's like, she knows, a lot of that stuff. So yeah, she's
Now,
very
does she color, Brian? Does she color inside or outside of the lines?
Hello there.
Everyone's going in the hot tub. Come on over, Phil. Come on over, Alan. Hey, Ray. Ray and John, you guys come by here in about an hour, right? You guys
We just went up
Ray
to,
might have COVID.
we just went up to 50. I think we
I'll be
need.
there.
I mean, John may have
Hey,
COVID.
babe, you gotta come over here more.
Hold on a second.
Watch this.
We're up to 51 now. We need more women with bikinis on.
Absolutely. Next week, Phil will be in a bikini.
Oh no, that's negative numbers.
Yeah, that's negative numbers.
I'll be in New York next weekend.
Oh, you coming into New York?
Yeah, we're going to see a play,
What are you going to go see?
American Buffalo.
Oh, really?
Oh, great show.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
We're gonna stay-
it's what's his name?
Mamet.
What?
David Mamet.
Is that
Mamet.
David Mamet?
Yeah, the other day we went.
Mamet.
The other day we went and saw Company.
I like Glengarry Glen Ross, which
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a movie adapted from Mamet.
Yeah, well, I went and saw a Sondheim musical
Mamet.
last week. Company,
How
which
was
is
that?
just incredible, just
That's
incredible.
a great show.
Huh? Yeah, it's a great show.
I
It's,
saw
I love
Cats.
Company.
and in this show, where originally the lead was a guy, the lead is now a woman. And since I never saw the ones with a guy, I can't imagine this thing with a guy doing the part, because it's about a person who all their friends are saying to them, "Why aren't you married? Why aren't you getting close to married? Don't you want a man in your life?" And then she goes around investigating what marriage is all about and finds these people aren't as happy as they say they are, And I'm thinking, I can't imagine a guy playing that in this day and age. I mean, even back then, if some guy said, "I'm 35 and I'm not married," everybody give him a high five. So nobody asked guys back then, "Hey, how come you're 35 and you're not married?"
They're gay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but this
He's a
worked.
confirmed bachelor.
Yeah, but this
Gay.
worked because women have that biological clock ticking, the whole deal, and it was terrific. It was just terrific. So, that's my recommendation if you come to New York.
It's a great show.
I
Yeah.
just saw Cats here in San Francisco.
Yeah, I saw it too, but it's phony. I didn't like it
fuck it's
because
about?
I went there and they're using people dressed as cats.
Yeah, for sure. What's that all about?
Yeah, what's that all about? I was expecting I was going to go see singing cats. You know?
The guy next door to me's got 2 cats.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't have a clue as to what the hell that thing's about either.
Cats?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of cats singing and dancing.
Yeah, it's about cats. It's taken from what was it was a book by somebody.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
is
it's
what it is.
bullshit. Well, that's what's his name. I can't think of names right now.
Weber.
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Andrew Lloyd
Andrew
Webber.
Lloyd Webber,
His
yeah,
stuff
Webber.
is so terrible. I can't stand it. You know?
Except for Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah, that was good. I
It
like
was
that.
okay. You know?
What was the one where they were singing about a steam train and people would roller skate out into the audience?
Yeah.
Xanadu.
No,
No,
it was roller something.
An Andrew Lloyd Webber play?
No,
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Yeah. Andrew Lloyd. That was
Was it?
Andrew
Yeah.
Lloyd Webber.
I saw it in London.
Everybody's on roller skates on stage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but there's these ramps
Phantom of the
and they go
Opera.
out into the into the audience and they're rolling around on like a track that goes in the air above the audience.
Yeah.
Is it pretty noisy though?
Yeah, you can't hear anybody sing, but it's who wants
Yeah.
to.
No, you
but
could hear them. You know.
I suddenly
doing like a
realized
steam
I
train.
mentioned to Marjorie. I said, "You realize, Marjorie, this is the second Sondheim musical we've seen." Because and she says, "What else do we see?" And we saw Sunday in the Park with George, which was also I liked
That's
it a lot.
great.
Yeah,
I
That
love
is-
Sondheim.
Sondheim,
Yeah, Sondheim was great.
incredible, just
Sunday in
incredible.
the Park is great too.
Yeah. And so is Sweeney Todd is amazing.
Well, the thing about Company is Company was the first musical that he wrote both the lyrics and the music. And it was the only comedy he ever did. So it has a lot of comedy in it. And after that, it was like, Into the Woods and in the Sunday in the Park with George and Sweeney Todd and on and on and on. He got there's some really
You're
serious
right.
crap.
It was Andrew Lloyd Webber. It was Starlight Express.
That's it.
Starlight Express.
Right.
Supposedly one of the worst musicals of all time.
I really enjoyed that.
Well, anything he does is one of the worst.
I even bought the
musicals of all
record
time.
out in the lobby.
Phantom of the Opera sucks.
If when you work at those things and you see those musicals over and over again, you start to notice where they fuck up and stuff.
Well, you know what about because you probably see them at the Warfield, right, or something.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. When you see them over and over again, you can catch their mistakes.
Well, because people are, it's the one thing that's great about theater. Every performance is absolutely original.
Yeah.
It will never be that way again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you like Phantom of the Opera?
I just hate it. I just don't like it. I don't want to hear it.
Like-
It offends my ears.
I thought Sarah Brightman and Antonio Banderas did a great job.
That's wonderful, terrific, but you still can't shine shit.
When you have a play like
Speaking
Cats, yeah. Oh, you're not
Yay,
positive.
Negative.
The C stands for COVID. Hey,
And that stands for pool. We're doing the Music Man now.
well, like Cats. I guess there was like 10,000 performances,
Yeah.
and there was even some of the original cast from opening night in most of those performances. And it has to be every night has to be opening night for the audience, and it's amazing.
Well, I asked somebody who did musicals. I can't remember who. How many good shows do you have a week? And they said probably 2.
Really?
Yeah, the rest of them are okay. It's always up to a certain level. But having a really good show, maybe you're lucky if you get 1 a week. You're really lucky if you get 2 a week.
Yeah. I saw Ray do Love Letters, and I don't know how he didn't cry. I mean, I was like, the tears were all over the place
Because it
And-
rehearsed for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
Anyway, hey, listen.
It was fabulous.
We're running out of
Jeff
time
has
here.
hand up.
Jeff has his hand up.
Did you guys ever see the 76?
1776.
Yeah,
I was in that show.
I saw
They
the
did
movie.
Hancock.
doing it.
I love
Well,
it.
tomorrow night we'll talk Broadway.
weekend.
How's that? Since all you people want to talk Broadway, we'll talk Broadway tomorrow night. But meanwhile, I got to say goodbye to everybody. Good night, Phil.
Hey.
Good night to Jeff. Good night to Alan. And to Tony, who don't listen to a thing Tony has to say about anything that happens to me that he heard through Shecky. Okay? Because it's like the game of telegraph, that thing. Thank you very much, John. Good seeing you. If you come to New York, give me a call, okay? Love
I'll
to
do
see
it,
you.
yeah.
Love to see you. Here's Ray, and thank you, Brian, for bringing your entire family to tonight's proceedings, and then watch the sun go down behind you. Everybody wave goodbye, and I'll wave goodbye at you, okay? Yeah, there they go. That's our citizen panel for tonight. We'll get another one up here tomorrow night. Meanwhile, Jack Bishop is next with The Intersection, and he will be. Let me just turn to my camera. Okay, he will be here again tomorrow night, same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her. Okay, bye bye, everybody.